Alright guys, so first thing we did there was do a nice skin pour or skin layer on our mold here. This is an Angling AI 4-inch hook slotted swim bait here. We did a skin pour on each side, and now we're going to color up with some pearl pigments. We're going to use a carbon black, and basically I want to paint that around the eye there, make that a little dark, and then we're going to do some stripes here, 3 on each side, and then we're going to move on to another color, and we're going to see if you guys can guess what kind of color I'm going for as we go here. So again, I don't want a whole lot around this eye. I've tried to do this bait I think 6 or 7 times, and I finally got it turned out how I want it with the colors and everything like that. We don't have to worry about the excess powder. We'll just blow that off at the end. So darken around the eye, and we're just going to do nice little stripes down the bait. Again, we'll just do 3. Just using a little cheap paintbrush from Walmart. You probably can get higher end brushes that you can probably paint a little bit better with, or put this powder on with, but this does just fine, I think. Fill that in a little bit there, just like that. Blow off that excess, and that's what we have on one side. So now we just want to do the same thing on the next one right here. Pretty simple, nothing crazy. Say the more uneven and stuff you put things on, the better it turns out in the long run, just because not everything in nature is perfect. It's all going to be different from one another, so you don't have to worry too much. Alrighty, that is step number 1 there. So now we get to go on to our next color, and for this color I am going with a little blue powder, and I'm just going to take the end of the brush this time, not the stuff with the bristle, dip it in there, and we are going to draw our pattern on the cheekbone area. A couple small lines, probably do about 3 or 4, see what we have room for. This is a small mold, so a little more tricky to work with than a larger size. Again, nothing crazy. Just like so. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I actually have a little bubble on this. I can actually just hit that with a heat gun later on and get that sealed up. I don't know if you guys know what kind of color I'm going for, but I bet you guys have a pretty good idea. There might be a couple different names for it, but if you guys know already, leave it in the comments below, but I will tell you guys here in a second. And just like so. So we got that on, and now we go to our last micro powder that we're going to use, and we're just going to use a raspberry red right here. Turns out really nice, looks real red once you get it in the once everything's cooked. So we're just going to do that as a little throat color. Again, doesn't need to be too much, just enough will do, just like so. Not nothing crazy, and exact same thing on the other one, just to give it a little red throat action. Never Never heard anybody complain about a red throat. Got him. Blow the excess off. And there we go. Our little painting session is done with the micro powder. Now we get to move on to our belly colors and our top color as well. And if you guys don't know what color I'm doing here, I am trying to do a like green sunfish style color, or maybe some people call them warmouths, stuff like that. But that's what I'm going for right here. And it took me a while to finally get the colors how I want them to turn out. And I think they turned out pretty well. So let's go ahead and do our belly colors next. This is one right here. I got heated up. This looks kind of gold to you guys, but it's a yellow gold orange. But when it's behind this skin layer and mixed with this top layer, it turns into a nice like burnt orange color that looks really, really well. Again, I wanted everything to blend together really well. I didn't want all these things to pop out at you. I kind of wanted to all blend into one and be real faint. So I'm not trying to get these blue stripes to pop out at you. If I did, I can do a stronger blue, or more of a a pigment dye with plastic and make it really, really blue and pop out at you. But for this batch, I'm really trying to blend everything in together. So let's get to the belly pouring. All right, so now we're just gonna take this belly color and pour it just for the belly, obviously, right above the hook slot in this bait. Again, this probably looks kind of goldish yellow on camera, but once it's behind this skin layer and mixed with this other top color, it turns into a nice looking orange. And it took me a while to finally get the color, but we finally got it. So once that sets up a little bit, then we can go ahead and put our top color on, which is just a nice little green pumpkin style color with a bunch of different red flake in there. Not super opaque. You want it to be a little bit see-through as well, but also I wanted it dark enough so you can tell the difference between the two. So we'll go ahead and pour this on top. Just like so, voila. And that is our top color done. Now we can move over to our griddle, turn that guy on, heat all this up, get it all blended in, and we can go on to the next. All right, so we can move over to our griddle. Usually I already have it preheating already, but I forgot to turn it on. We usually like to turn it on to probably about, usually like 250 or so is where I like to put it at. And then we let this guy cook up and we have our finished product. Again, I've done a few, as you guys can see over there, that I finally got turning out right. And here's some of the ones that didn't turn out so well how I wanted it to. I started with a chartreuse just to see what it would look like, and I didn't like how the chartreuse was turning out. So I tried to darken that a little bit. I think this was my next one here. And again, the colors just started to blend in together. The top color was too light, and this yellow was again too light, so it started blending in. And that's when I realized I really wanted to try to go to an orange. I was pouring the Plastisol black, but I wasn't really liking how it turned out. Again, that looked a little too light there. So here's my next one. Darkened up that black, but to me that looks way too black. You can see that green hue finish in there. I really like that a lot. That looks really good. I think like these green sunfish or warmouths, whatever you like to call them, they do have like a green tint around like their whole body, it seems like. And I kind of just put that in the middle, which looked pretty good, but that's when I decided to kind of add that effect to the skin layer itself, so it showed up throughout the whole body. But there was another version, didn't like that, so went on to the next. I want to say it was probably this one right here, yeah. Went on to this style. There you can see everything kind of blended in a little too much. You can't really see it too well. The belly color isn't showing up very well. It all kind of turned into one, but I do like how the blue is. It's not super like pop out at your face, but it's there. You can see it. The nice red throat there, stuff like that. So that was another one. Here was another one. Tried the black around the eyes with, you know, plastisol as well. But again, it looks just a little too black for this bait. I like how you can see the stripes a little better in this one. The belly color is a little more noticeable, but again, still way too light. I really needed to darken it up and find a way to get it that nice burnt orange color. And then eventually, we ended up turning out baits that kind of look like this one right here, which is definitely how I want them to turn out. I can't get the green effect in here in the shop. It doesn't show up very well, but it's definitely there. It has a nice green tint to it. There you can kind of see it right there, if you guys can see that reflection right there. But it looks really good. I don't have any natural light today because it's going to storm, so it's kind of hard to show it perfectly. But that is the color I ended up with, and I think it turned out really well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this color. I think it turned out pretty sick. Definitely one of my favorites. I like how the red turned out really good, and the blue shows pretty good as well. Again, I don't want it to pop out at your face, but man, I think they turned out pretty sick. So I got them all upside down over here. I can turn this heat off now real quick. See, I got all of them all upside down, all getting ready. Here's a couple just random baits I did, little designs on these guys. I think these are kind of cool too. Again, these were just hand painted with micro powders and stuff. Pretty neat. Again, I wouldn't use that top color, is way too light. Again, these all have to be trimmed and stuff like that so they don't look all beat up. But definitely would have went with a darker top to it, so I had a darker tail. Would have looked real nice. So, but yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. And we got this one cooking right now, and we can wait for this guy to cool off, and I can show you guys. And then we got to hit the top with the heat gun too. I guess I can show you that real quick. So go and turn our heat gun on. It's probably going to be pretty loud for you guys. I'm going to let it heat up a little bit. And then this way there's, like, you know, bubbles in the tail and stuff like that. We can all just fill in with this heat gun. So we just want to get hot enough, and all of this will seal up. I didn't do this for a while when I first started because I really had no idea. So a lot of my baits started looking rough. But this right here is like a best friend, man. This thing fixes all the bubbles and seals all your little crevices that maybe didn't get poured. This will give a little overspill, but in the end it evens everything out, and I can just trim some of that up later. Again, I got to get the pouring down to perfection here, so eventually I won't have that little overspill or whatnot. But there's the there's the finished product inside. Now we got to wait about 30 minutes for this guy to cool off, and then we can open up and show you guys our green sunfish style swim bait. Alright guys, and that is the finished product there. You can see the green highlight pretty well. It's kind of showing up pretty good. Focus, camera, focus. That nice golden yellow color turned that nice orange behind the skin pore there. The black stripes show up pretty well. And then the blue striped gill plates there turned out really, really well. What do you guys think of this color? Again, it looks a little bit different in natural light. It shows up a lot better. Even in person, as I'm looking at it, you can see it looks a lot better than this camera shows up. But what do you guys think? Looks pretty sick. I dig it, guys. So that's the color I've been working on. And then next we're gonna go probably with a real natural shad style color, real pearlescent, and see how we do. But I dig this color. Now it just looks black.